So here's the question. If cloud is so brilliant, then why do I still spend half of my week explaining why something costs 3 times more than you thought it would cost you, or why you should really make that backup? Welcome back to The Architectress, where we talk about the fun side of tech. If you define fun as being paged in the middle of the night because someone broke the internet again. Today, let's talk about why cloud is both the best thing that's ever happened to IT and one of its biggest headaches. Let's start with the brilliant side of cloud, because we really should give credit where credit is due. Cloud changed everything. It made innovation faster and cheaper, allegedly, and more accessible than ever. Anyone with a laptop and an internet connection can spin up resources that used to take an entire data center and weeks of begging finance team for some budget. It gave us scalability, global reach, and automation. You can deploy applications across continents in minutes. You can build solutions that scale from 10 users to 10 million automatically. Small startups can now compete with billion-dollar companies. It's just a real superpower. You don't need to buy servers, negotiate data center space, or wait 6 months for hardware. You just click a few buttons and you're live. And for large enterprises, it's freedom. You can modernize legacy workloads, improve resilience, and innovate faster, if you architect it right. The cloud has really democratized technology. It turned what used to be multi-million-dollar infrastructure into something accessible to anyone with a credit card and an idea. Cloud is why Netflix can handle 265 million views of Squid Game within 90 days. And it's also why your phone knows what song you were thinking of before you do. Well, that's the brilliant part. But here's where it gets tricky. Let's talk about why it can also feel broken, because most of the time the cloud isn't broken. How we use it is. The first issue is old habits in a new world. Many organizations just lift and shift their traditional data center architectures directly into the cloud without adapting them to the cloud native model. So instead of gaining elasticity and cost efficiency, they just end up with the same static setup, just running somewhere else and sometimes costing more. Then there's complexity. When you first start with cloud, it feels simple. Just spin up a server, spin up a few resources, go fast, experiment. Fast forward a few years, and then we've got containers, Kubernetes, microservices, serverless, event-driven systems. And that's all amazing and great, but it also means that we have effectively traded hardware complexity for architectural complexity. Which brings me to my favorite topic, cloud costs. Cloud can be cheaper, but only when you understand what you're paying for and when you understand how exactly you're using cloud. If you treat it like a data center and just keep everything on 24/7 just in case, your bill will remind you very quickly that what you build is more like a use it or pay it for it model. And finally, security and governance. Cloud is secure, very secure in fact, but it's built on shared responsibility. The cloud provider secures the infrastructure, but you secure what you build on top of it. When misconfigurations happen, it's usually that someone left an S3 bucket open to the world just to test it, or just to try it out and see what happens, or they hard-coded their credentials into the script that they put on GitHub. Who is there to blame in that case? So why do these problems happen? That's because cloud is not just about technology, it's a mindset shift. To use it effectively, teams really need to think differently. Like, design for failure instead of avoiding it, automate everything, or at least as much as possible, measure and optimize continuously, not just once in a while when problems happen, and embrace the idea that systems are meant to evolve. Sometimes I hear this phrase like, oh, it's always worked that way, so we don't touch it. No. Systems are meant to evolve, best practices evolve, cloud evolves, technology evolves all the time. Always keep that in mind. But the challenge is, change is hard. You're asking people to rewire how they've been thinking for years, and as humans, we like what's familiar, even if it's very inefficient. That's why the cloud feels broken for many, not because it is, but because the people that are using it are still halfway between the old world and the new. What we're doing with the cloud is still very new. We are still rewriting how the digital world runs in real time. And sure, there are costs and occasional DNS meltdowns, but there's also innovation, freedom, and an entire global community learning together. The point isn't that cloud doesn't work, it's that cloud amplifies everything. If your architecture is solid, cloud makes it much more powerful. If it's not, it makes the flaws louder and more expensive. So yes, cloud is both brilliant and challenging. It gives you nearly infinite potential, but it also demands that you respect how it works. If you approach it with the same mindset as you approach your on-premises setup, you will probably really struggle. But if you treat it as a living system that needs constant care, visibility, and optimization, it will reward you with speed, scalability, and innovation. It's not broken, it's just honest. It shows you the truth of your design, your processes, and your habits instantly and at scale. The way how I describe it is that cloud is both chaos and creativity, and maybe that's what makes it brilliant. So when something breaks, remember, you're not failing, you're just participating in a globally distributed, highly available multi-region learning experience. The next time you hear someone say cloud is complicated or expensive, maybe it's not the cloud, maybe it's their architecture needs a bit of love. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe, and maybe share it with that one friend who says that the cloud is just somebody else's.